green.
Bartel
Huge head of steam.
Yeah, looking to use that momentum
Oh!
off the top. Poliski into the wall. He corrals and it's going to stack up the field, though. It's Bartel and Yakes.
Roman and Olsen split Poliski side by side. They're going to be 3 wide out of turn number 4. Up front, Joe Yakes is going to hang on to it to win the Hotlanta 200.
And they wreck behind him.
Poliski tags Roman. Roman takes 3rd. Poliski falls back to 4th. Ellison in 5th.
But it's the 87 of Joe Yakes that is going to take the checkered flag here tonight. And well deserved.
2 races down, 10 more to go in the first season, but it is time now for our first of 2 road courses in the inaugural season, as we are set for 51 laps tonight in upstate New York, which is 200 kilometers around Watkins Glen International for the Glen 200K at the Glen. It's round number 3 of season number 1 of Truck 200, and it is all right here on your home for some good old-fashioned truckin', turn 200. Howdy, folks. My name is Tommy Cook. We've got the one and only Mr. Martini Master, Matt Williamson. Are you ready for some clockwise left and right turn-in action here tonight at the virtual Glen?
Well, since we're doing left and right turns, I thought I'd get a little fancy with a martini glass here tonight, as you mentioned, the Martini Master. But this track is going to be quite difficult to master, so these drivers are going to have a bit of a tough task here tonight.
You just saw the highlights moments ago from an eventful race from Atlanta 2008 last week. But what did our second race of the season do to the point standings?
Well, with a first and a third on the season, it shouldn't be a surprise to anyone that Steve Roman is the points leader heading into round 3. But look how tight it is through the rest of the top 5. From Joe Yakes, last week's winner, in second, down to Ryan Dye in 5th, they're only separated by 8 points. Ellison has gotten to third on consistency. He finished 5th in both races so far. But those other 3 have each had one good race and one race they'd rather forget. They're all hoping tonight is the night that Steve Roman is going to slip up just a bit so they, along with the rest of the drivers in the top 10, can climb back into that points battle.
When it comes to the Glen, of course, it's a road course. But it's the road course that probably sees the most laps getting turned on it by oval drivers. It is probably the most comfortable a lot of these drivers will be on any non-oval. But what are some of the challenges that lurk around this 2.45-mile, 7-turn circuit that will keep a lot of these drivers on edge here tonight, regardless of their experience?
Well, I mean, there's your usual trouble spots, like the big slowdown into turn 1, which is nearly a 90-degree right-hand turn to kick the whole thing off. You carry a lot of speed into that. That's just a tough ask. The S's are always challenging as well, and I mean, really, I could sit here and tell you the different reasons why all of these corners and turns are difficult, because really they all are. Every driver is going to have corners that they excel in and corners that they're going to give up time in as well. Now, what is going to be a challenge tonight is the setup on these trucks. This is a fixed setup league, but that doesn't always mean that the setups are going to play nice. In our Sunday afternoon practice session, there were a lot of drivers who were trying to get a feel for this setup who went around quite a few times. The track is cooler today, and a few tweaks have been made to make the setup a little more friendly, but Watkins Glen is a track that demands respect. If drivers don't treat their tires right, then they're going to have a tough time here tonight, regardless of the setup.
It is going to be a fun night of racing here at the Glen, and we don't want you to miss a single second of it. We will be back in just a minute with some qualifying for round number 3 of the inaugural season of Truck 200 live from virtual Watkins Glen.
A blind night that uses echolocation, viewing the dark, treacherous world through sound. Trapped in a dungeon, endangered by combatants, where hazards lurk around every corner. Make sound to have vision, or don't and be stealthy. Avoid impaling threats throughout the dungeon to escape. Engage with other prisoners.
Night I've been hearing about. Could you find the key and unlock my cell?
Free them to fight back with more allies.
Let's take this guy.
The dungeon labyrinth has many paths and even more traps. Struggle through the darkness to find your freedom.
Presentation. Oh boy, it is just about that time. We've got about 6 minutes left in qualifying here, and I don't know what the expectations were coming into tonight, and we have yet to see a lap on track of green flag action. But one thing that this night has already done is set the bar pretty high going forward in terms of future Truck 200 competition. We have 31 drivers that will be taking the starting grid here tonight. That is insane. I would have put all my money at the beginning of this season on Watkins Glen being in the bottom 3 in terms of car counts, and it's the highest.
Yeah, I think we're both a little bit surprised. We thought the road courses would certainly be of the least attended, but boy, a car count of what we think is going to be 30 here when we take the grid, that is spectacular, and we are absolutely thrilled up here in the booth.
Yeah, we are thrilled. I myself, as the league proprietor now, I'm a little bit nervous. This setup, we alluded to it a little bit in the pre-race show. It's a little twitchy, and even though we had a little bit of cooler track temperatures here compared to our practice session yesterday, the twitchiness is still apparent in these trucks. So, going to be interesting here with 30, possibly 30 plus trucks roaring to life into a 90-degree right turn. To kick this one off, it's going to be a pretty interesting start to this race here. Who are we keeping our eyes on here as qualifying is drawing near to a close here?
Yeah, well, we were watching Gavin Sanders there for a while. He was the fastest in practice. He's going to end up third for right now anyways. Richard Hayes, I believe, is still out on the track in the 28. This is going to be the first we've seen of Richard Hayes, and there's actually quite a few in here that it's going to be the first we're seeing of him.
And that's what I was just about to say. The number is 8 here tonight. We have 8 drivers who will be taking their very first start with Truck 200. A number of those have joined just this week. A couple of them have been joined since the beginning and have just yet to make their first start and are electing to do it here tonight at Watkins Glen. So we've got a whole cast of characters to keep our eyes on here tonight, on top of all the madness that road course racing already provides. It's just going to be an insane night here. And one of those brand new characters, actually 2 of them, one of them no stranger to Turn 200 competition, Nathan Reynolds, is second quick on the board right now, but Justin Michael is a brand new newcomer here to Truck 200, Turn 200. He is P1 right now. He was second quickest in practice. He's fastest overall in qualifying with a blistering lap of a 12.389. I believe that is the fastest overall lap we've seen in the session thus far. And indeed it is. Gavin Sanders ran a 1:12.431 in practice. So this is faster than that. That is insane pace from Justin Michael, who I don't want to lose any viewers here. But Justin Michael is live on Twitch right now on Floorboard Deep. That is his Twitch channel. So
and we're watching qualifying here. Christopher Kresge just got it sideways on the bus stop. It came to a complete stop. So his qualifying run is going to be over, I think. Hey, he might be able to have one shot at one more lap. I'm not sure.
He did put up one lap already. It was a 1:14.502, which is 14th fastest. Kresge, another driver, no stranger to Turn 200. He was the league proprietor of the Revolution Indy League, which is now Revolution Indy Land. But he says he's stepping out of his comfort zone here tonight and hopping in a truck, and he's very excited. And he actually looked pretty good in practice. Was for somebody who doesn't drive trucks very often, was looking pretty good.
Yeah, certainly excited to see him. When we saw him sign up for the league, we were, you tried to keep it a secret from me, thinking that I wouldn't see it, so I would be surprised when he entered his first race. But little do you know, I do actually pay attention to some of the background admin things.
Well, there you go.
But it's really great to see him and a couple of our other friends from the RAL that have joined us here tonight. And I think Roland Holt, who we are watching right now, is going to be the last person to take a time.
Not only that, he was the last person to connect to the session as well. Roland Holt I believe he registered for the league a couple of days ago at the behest of Nathan Reynolds, who we again get to see in Truck 200 for the very first time here tonight, after he won his first Venom Truck Series race of the season at Nashville Super Speedway last Tuesday. He's looking to go 1 for 1 in Truck 200. But Roland Holt, apparently, this is his first ever league, which is surprising.
Well, first ever league is going to start out. He's going to start 12th here tonight at a road course. And I tell you what, 30 trucks barreling into the first turn. That's going to be something to watch. That's for certain.
Yes, it is. Qualifying is now complete. And here we go. The starting grid is set for the Glen 200K at the Glen. 30 trucks. Oh my goodness. That is insane. I'm just still, All right, here we go. Justin Michael making his debut here tonight. He is going to grab his first career pole and his first career start, and is the third different pole sitter in Truck 200. To his outside, also making his first career start here tonight, it's Nathan Reynolds. Gavin Sanders' career start number 2 for him here tonight after an ill-fated Talladega appearance. He will start P3 here tonight at the Glen. Andy Poliski finished P4 last week at Atlanta. He starts P4 here tonight. James Lehman, another debuter here tonight. He rolls off in 5th. The demigod Dakota DeMade, have not seen him since his ill-fated finish at Talladega either. He will roll off in 6th. Joe Yakes, your winner from last week at Atlanta, he will roll off in 7th. Kyle Zittel, your thumbnail driver from tonight, he will roll off in 8th. 9th place start for Ryan Dye, and a 10th place start for Steve Roman, your points leader. Rounds out your top 10 here tonight. Paul Ellison and the debuting Roland Holt on row number 6. Jeremy McKinnon looking for some good luck to come his way finally. On the inside of row number 7 with Will Salamone starting to his outside. Debuting Christopher Kresge starts 15th with TJ Bartel, who's in the top 5 in points, starting in 16th. Johnny Nielsen will be the first ever driver in Truck 200 to start a race from outside of North America. He comes to us from the beautiful land of Santa Catarina in Brazil. Starting at his outside will be Adam Cantwell, looking for a bounce back after a disappointing finish in Atlanta last week. Mike Todd and Richard Hayes, 2 debuting drivers on row number 10. Dave Stinson qualifies 21st, but he will start from the tail of the field after an EOL from a penalty at Talladega. Eric Breeding, then Jeff Smith, the first of the drivers not to post a time. He will start in 22nd. Eric Breeding, Hunter Leach, Richard Kessinger, Troy Thomas, Jacob Houston, Garrett Rainey, Len McNeese. Brad Saxton is debuting here tonight. He will roll off in P31. Kyle Dumick, I don't believe, is here. So, all right, Matt. We got a little bit of extra time here around the 2.45-mile Watkins Glen International. What are we going to be looking for here tonight?
Yeah, well, here tonight, it's going to be a tough ask. We talked about the setup. It's going to be crazy out there. The fuel window here tonight is 26 to 27 laps, which is just a little bit over halfway. So it should be a one-stop race as long as you don't have an incident. You might want to take 2 if you spin it out at some point, which is going to be very possible for our drivers here tonight. The weather conditions, only 87 degrees is the track temperature, so that is certainly going to help. It's a little bit cooler than it was for a practice session yesterday, so that should help our drivers here tonight. There are 2 places where track limits will be observed. It's going to be the runoff after turn 1 and at the bus stop, so that is something that you're going to have to keep in mind as well. Also, one thing to mention, we are not expecting any cautions tonight either, unless we do have a big pileup into turn 1, which 30 trucks starting here tonight.
Yeah.
I'm not going to put it past us.
Absolutely not. I mean, things can get bound up in a hurry here. There's a couple of choke points around Watkins Glen where things can get messy very, very quickly. Let's see what we've got here. 51 laps around Watkins Glen. Justin Michael and Nathan Reynolds, two drivers making their very first starts here on the front row, leading the field through turn number 7. The pace car hangs a right onto pit road. It's Michael and it's Reynolds. The green flag flies and we are racing at the Glen.
Whoa, we got one
Truck
up. That's
scattering
McKinnon.
further back. McKinnon. McKinnon's still trying to hang on to it, and he is finally, I think, going to corral it here as they come down the long straightaway. Justin Michael, meanwhile, up front, loses the back end of that truck. Here comes Nathan Reynolds looking for the lead underneath of him as they work through the carousel.
That's actually Gavin Sanders.
Gavin Sanders, you're right.
Got around Reynolds, and Sanders has taken the lead over Justin Michael coming into turn number 6.
Gavin Sanders through the left. Going to work through the final turn and down the front straightaway. Gavin Sanders is looking to lead the first lap here at Watkins Glen. Sanders, Michael, Reynolds, Lehman, and Poliski, your top 5 as lap number 1 goes up on the board. Dakota DeMay, Joe Yakes, Ryan Dye, Kyle Zittel, Steve Roman, the top 10. The big loser there on the opening lap was Jeremy McKinnon. You alluded to it. He had a couple of bobbles there in the first couple of turns, went from 13th to 22nd. I think Truck 200, unfortunately, is cursed for Jeremy McKinnon. But still 50 laps for everybody here to figure it out. But how about Gavin Sanders?
Yeah, Gavin Sanders, who we know is not a stock car racer at all. He will be the first to tell you. But if he was going to do well anywhere, it would certainly be the road courses. Maybe we didn't think he would do quite this well, but he is showing early that he has speed even in a stock car.
Sanders and DeMay may have the leg up on some of these drivers, or at least maybe doing a little bit better than some people would think that they would. They actually kind of did their own sort of truck league on road courses exclusively, as James Lehman just got through on Nathan Reynolds for spot number 3 there into turn number 1. So Sanders and DeMay not totally out of practice. They did Formula Truck is what they called it.
And your winner from last week at Atlanta, Joe Yakes, is lurking back there in 7th as well with one of the other RIL drivers, Dakota DeMay, just in front of him.
Steve Roman, the points leader right now, holding serve in 10th as Paul Ellison is working underneath of Kyle Zittel for the 11th position. They both have gotten through Will Salamone on this lap.
And Will Salamone's caught right back up to him, though. He's not going away. Ellison's going to go around Zittel on the outside. So is Salamone. Zittel very slow through turn 6 there.
Up front, it's still Gavin Sanders leading Justin Michael by about 0.7 of a second as they start to head up through the S's on lap number 4. And so far, so good. Everybody knock on wood that it stays that way. And if you're watching here tonight, we appreciate you hanging out with us. Drop us a chat. Let us know that you're hanging out. It's just because the start was maybe a little bit calmer than we were expecting. Don't think that it's going to stay that way. As Ryan Dye nearly goes around out of the bus stop, hangs onto it. I don't know how. Ryan Dye was kind of all by himself out in the 8th position, but he hangs on to it.
Unfortunately, it looks like we've had a couple of incidents. Richard Hayes has jumped to the pits, as has Hunter Leach, and it looks like Hunter Leach just crashed again, according to my little ticker deal here. I'm gonna go to him. He might have just been off track. I think that registers as maybe a crash. He is very slow through the S's right now.
So Richard Hayes was battling side by side with Jacob Houston, and he dipped a right rear tire off into the grass and made some pretty hard contact with the Armco barriers into turn number 6. So that's I don't think he has a meatball flag, but he will have some damage to repair after he gets his toe back into the pits. All the drivers were told to tow back into the pits rather than pulling out into traffic if there was oncoming traffic. And that's really is too bad for Richard Hayes, who had some pace here tonight and was battling in the mid-pack there.
Reynolds is loose. He's dropped back to 5th now. Andy Poliski has gotten around him, and he's struggling a little bit. Really loose. I mean, this setup in general is just going to be loose, but you got to be careful. You got to treat her right, otherwise she's going to bite you.
Yeah, there's only one person you can blame for this setup being loose, and that would be me. That's everybody go ahead and direct that right my way. I talked to Nathan Reynolds about this setup as Hunter Leach is letting the leaders go through here. I talked to Nathan Reynolds about this setup, actually, and he and I were of the understanding that we both actually liked a looser setup. But it may not be playing into his advantage right now, as he is trying to hang on to a position inside of the top 5 here. Dakota DeMade is closing in for what would be the battle for 5th. Andy Poliski is drawing nearer to James Lehman for the 3rd spot. And meanwhile, up front, Gavin Sanders has increased his lead since the last time we checked on him by about 0.2 of a second. It's right around 0.9 over Justin Michael.
And those two have pretty much checked out. Gavin Sanders is almost 6 seconds in front of 3rd place driver James Lehman, with Michael not too far behind. The gap's at about 1.5 seconds right now. Still a lot of racing to go here.
Absolutely. Working lap number 7 here are the leaders. And 30 trucks started this race. That is absolutely incredible. That is the Truck 200 high mark. We had, 22 last week at Atlanta, 26. Oh, trouble in turn number 1. Jacob Houston has gone around. I'm going to back it up just a little bit to see if he had help. No, it looks like he wheel hopped it a little bit while he was battling with Jeff Smith for, I believe, the 21st position. But it didn't make any contact with anything, so a little bitty spin.
I hate to say it, but it also looked like Royal Greenhorn racing driver Brad Saxon had a lot of damage, and he spun out of turn 7 into the pit wall. So I think his night might be over, unfortunately.
That's man, that is too bad. Yep, meatball flag for Brad Saxton in his debut, and we were so looking forward to finally getting him out on track. And his debut has gone up in less than 10 laps here tonight. As Joe Yates has gone around into turn number 1 as well. So your winner from Atlanta last week. Again, another little wheel hop lock up into turn number 1. Doesn't make any contact with anybody or anything, but he's going to lose at least 2 or 3 spots.
Yeah, he's going to lose about 5. I think he was in 7th behind DeMade. He's all the way back down to 12th now.
So the rear tires are starting to get a little angry on these trucks, especially into that into the tough technical sections of this track. Into turn number 1, into the S's, and out of the bus stop. That's really where you're going to feel these tires screaming at you the hardest.
Yeah, and certainly going downhill into turn 1, that is just a tough corner. There's no doubt about it. Carrying a lot of speed into a downhill corner and a right-hander at that, that's a tough one.
Salamone just had a little slide out of turn number 7.
And that allows Zittel in the 53 to get around him. Zittel now into the top 10.
Christopher Kresge just ran it a little bit wide, but no harm, no foul. You can use that runoff area, but if you go much further than Kresge did, you're going to pick up a slowdown from the sim.
Oh, I heard a crash. I think that was Cantwell, maybe.
Oh.
It was. Adam Cantwell was stuck in the wall.
He's jumped back to the pits, so coming out of the S is Adam Cantwell. I think maybe I can't tell if he got loose before or if he got up and grabbed too much curb. I think he may have been loose before and got up onto the curb, and he tagged somebody else on their way through. It was Roland Holt. And yeah, Cantwell is disconnected already. Holt is blown up as well. So I think that is going to be the end of the night for Roland Holt as well. Gosh darn it.
Yeah,
that is too bad.
And we just took a look at the replay. Yeah, Cantwell just got really sideways in there and just couldn't quite save it. Ended up going around and collecting Holt as well.
I wouldn't hold anything against any driver here tonight. This is a tough setup. It's a tough ask. But this is the reason I wanted to put this league together was to challenge these drivers. I think these are drivers that are up to the challenge, and sometimes it just doesn't go their way, unfortunately.
Yeah, I mean, we have a lot of talent in this league, and I think you're right. Having a challenging setup is, I think it's kind of something different than a lot of leagues do. A lot of leagues try to make it easy for the drivers to be able to run the times that they want to, but something a little bit different here tonight, and that's not such a bad thing.
And the majority of the setups will be easy. I think the Interlagos setup for later in this season, our only other road course on the schedule, that's I think a relatively easy setup. It's inoffensive. This is a track where most drivers know how to use up Watkins Glen and know how to get after it. So this is going to be a situation where the drivers that know how to attack Watkins Glen can take advantage of a setup like this. That was really kind of the thinking behind having more of a loose setup like this. But it's definitely understandable that not all the drivers are going to be able to get behind a setup like this. It's not definitely can't hold it against everybody. As a quick look back out front, Gavin Sanders has opened it up on Justin Michael. Over 3 seconds the advantage right now as they work lap number 11, coming to lap number 12. James Lehman in a distant third. Andy Poliski, Nathan Reynolds, your top 5.
And Poliski was making a run at Lehman not too long ago. He is now falling back, and Nathan Reynolds is closing in on him. Reynolds actually got into the grass and was close to spinning out of 7 the last time around. So he's worked hard to try to close up to the back of the 32. He's not quite there.
Dakota DeMade is in no man's land in 6th. He's got 4 seconds to the next closest driver in front of him, and almost 11 seconds to the nearest driver behind him. Actually, more than that, about 11 and a half seconds. Back to Ryan Dye, who's got Steve Roman and Paul Ellison right behind him in 8th and 9th. And Kyle Zittel is in 10th, with Joe Yiggs behind him in 11th, and Will Salamone in that party as well in 12th. JK Gaming is in the chat. Says, let's go Full Send Inc. Unfortunately, Roland Holt, I believe, is out of the race and disconnected, but Nathan Reynolds is is looking pretty good here in P5 as the race rolls along.
A little bit farther back behind Christopher Kresge, he's in 14th, is TJ Bartel, who we talked a lot about last week. Got a lot of speed at bumpy Atlanta, and he is back in 14th, trying to work on the 777s of Christopher Kresge for the 13th spot. And Kresge, along with your race leader, Gavin Sanders, in 5th place right now, Dakota DeMade. They're all on Team Pleased by Echo Blade on Steam, but I think the name might need to be changed to Pleased by Echo Blade on console, because I saw, and I don't know if there's a date or if I just missed the date, that Echo Blade will be on console in the near future, so look out for that. Stephen C. asks if Michael Fish is here. He is not. He messaged us a little bit earlier today and said he had some things come up and promised he was not hiding from the EOL that will be waiting for him when he makes his return.
Just had to clear a penalty for Hunter Leach, who sort of had to make a save onto the entrance of pit road and got an unsafe pit exit as a result, even though he really wasn't on to pit road. So that was my moment of benevolence, really, I guess.
And Brad Saxon's back out on the track. I don't know if he just came out or if he's been out for a little while. But he is behind Dakota DeMade at the moment. But he had plenty of required repairs to fix. He is all the way back, scored in 30th, which I think is last of the drivers who started the race.
It is indeed, but he will have a couple of spots to pick up, as Roland Holt, Adam Cantwell have disconnected. I believe Richard Hayes as well as Richard Kessinger are both multiple laps down. They're still on the track, as is Hunter Leach. Jacob Houston, Len McNeese, both 1 lap down.
Kresge just crashed the 777.
Oh, man. Kresge goes around down the short straight.
Try to get it rolling.
Backs it up, gets it fired, and gets it back going.
Lucky that there was nobody on his tail. Well, there was somebody on his tail, but nobody close after that. He was in a pretty big gaggle of trucks there. Garrett Rainey, Bartel, and I think it was Eric Breeding were all there together with Kresge. And Kresge just got a little loose out of the carousel and couldn't quite make the save. As Breeding is going to make a pass on Bartel, so Bartel's struggling just a little bit right now.
So we're coming to lap number 16. You talked a little bit about the fuel strategy earlier, but we are almost exactly 10 to 11 laps away from pit stops.
Oh, and Richard Kessinger back there in the back. He spins it out into pit lane.
He'll have a little bit of a gap to pull it back out onto the track here.
And there's a big group in here at the end of the top 10 going back to about 12th or 13th place. They're being led by Ryan Dye, who's in 7th. Steve Roman, Paul Ellison, Kyle Zittel, Will Salamone, Joe Yakes, all kind of a part of this little group here. We're separated by a little bit from Ellison to Zittel. Actually, Yakes is a little bit farther back.
JK Gaming with the gaggle in the chat, yes. Word of the race as always.
I love it, Gaggle.
So Justin Michael, I think, is really trying to push hard here. He picked up a slowdown out of turn number 1. He has not really been gaining any time on the race leader, Gavin Sanders.
Yeah, Gavin Sanders not only maintained a healthy lead, but has drawn it out a little bit. Last time we checked in, it was right out about 4 seconds, and it's almost to 6 now.
Actually, the last time by, it was 4.2 seconds. And now, it's actually about 4.5. Wonder what happened there, because it was out to about 7. You were right, and now it came right back. It's going all over the map.
Yeah, well, that's a little bit of road course racing that just happens. There's give and take.
Oh, somebody's around. I believe that was Jeremy McKinnon right in front of the race leader. And he pits and disconnects, so that is the end of the night for Jeremy McKinnon. Man, that is it's been a tough go in Truck 200 for Jeremy McKinnon. It's not representative of his talents. What's been happening to him in this league? If you want to see Jeremy McKinnon race good, maybe come out tomorrow night. We'll be doing the Honor the Fallen 150 tomorrow night at Martinsville Speedway for the Venom Truck Series. And Jeremy McKinnon very much in the points hunt. After, man, he's on quite the finished streak right now. So it's a shame that he's absolutely been snake bitten in this league thus far.
There hasn't been a lot of movement really anywhere other than a couple of incidents that we have alluded to. There's still this big group here. Ryan Dye, Ellison, Steve Roman, Kyle Zittel has fallen back a little bit. He's battling with Will Salamone. But those are about the closest trucks on the track. Kyle Zittel had a problem. I don't know if he must have gotten really loose coming out of either 6 or 7. He's dropped a long ways behind Will Salamone now, about 4 seconds, and he was in front.
Gavin Sanders is in quite the mess of lap traffic right now as he works down the front straightaway, coming to lap number 20. Pit stops in the next 7-ish laps here. As Gavin Sanders just got through Troy Thomas, as well as, I believe, Mike Todd, who is making his debut here tonight. They're battling now for the 17th position. Jeff Smith is in the mix there as well. Richard Kessinger has gone a 3rd lap down. He's there as well. But Gavin Sanders leading the way here by about 5 seconds over Justin Michael. James Lehman still in 3rd. Andy Poliski in 4th. Andy Poliski just hits that he's coming into pit this time. Think maybe Poliski's on a 2-stop strategy here?
I would have to think so. I don't think we're going to be able to stretch it out to 31. That seems like that's a long ways to go.
I think 28 is the absolute max you can go. On a full fuel run, these rear tires are coming off at about 82%-ish. Give or take, probably 2 or 3%. So it's a different strokes for different folks kind of thing. There's certainly a discussion to be had. I think Poliski did a fake out there. See if they could draw anybody into a two-stop strategy. Either that or he just hit the wrong button.
Whoa, trouble for Leach and Kessinger behind. And your second place runner, the 78 of Justin Michael, is having a hard time getting around lap traffic right now. He's going to try to outbrake a couple of them into the bus stop.
Nervous moments there for a couple of the front runners.
The 78, he's able to get around Jeff Smith. And Michael Todd now.
So Joe Yates came down to pit last time. So he must be on a two-stop strategy. So he is one lap down in 19th right now. I was confused how he had gotten ahead of Nathan Reynolds, but he hasn't.
Hunter Leach has a lot of damage. I think he's just trying to stay out of the way for a lot of our drivers here.
He just called out over the radio to Richard Kessinger. I think he buried the nose in the rear end of Richard there. Hunter said he wanted to finish the race here tonight. Hunter is not a road course racer, but he's trying to put his best foot forward here tonight, and that's all we can ask of our drivers.
And JK Gaming just got himself chat banned in the YouTube chat. Gonna have to sit there and think about what he's done.
Lap 23 up on the board. As Brad Saxton yields to the leader, Gavin Sanders.
We're actually going to go on board with Gavin Sanders here. He's working through the S's. He'll be coming into the bus stop here. He's going to take a look at what it takes to get around this thing as fast as he is. Man, he is really slamming it into the bus stop there.
A couple of drivers hitting pit road this time. Hunter Leach is one of them. Ryan Dye, a lead lap truck, is on pit road as well. So a little bit early. Hope everybody is taking notes there on board with Gavin Sanders.
This is what I need help with right here. I'm paying close attention on how you get through turn one. He makes it look really easy. I promise you it's not.
No, it is not.
Whoa, in a little moment there. He had to feather the gas just a bit. Boy, I can't believe how he flies through the bus stop there. And another lead lap truck, Steve Roman, is coming down pit lane as well.
The points leader, P9, on the leaderboard as they run.
And this is your window. I think here you can get all the way to the end, no problem.
This one's a little tighter, but yes, you can make it. I think Joe Yates and Ryan Dye, two of the earlier pitters, are going to have some problems. Kyle Zittel is on pit road as well. These two are going to be close, but they might be okay. Gavin Sanders on lap number 25. Should be okay if he comes this time. Definitely will be fine if he comes next time.
Oh boy, the Venom memes have dipped over into the Truck 200 chat. Yeah, some like to call me Will.
They call him Will.
One of them was in your picture right there. Is again that 53.
Nathan Reynolds is on pit road. From just outside of the top 5. Sanders bypasses pit road, approaching halfway. 26 down, 26 to go.
Yeah, and I think most are just going to split this thing in half. There are a couple that were trying to jump the main window there probably and try to maybe gain a little time or maybe an extra spot on pit stops. Not a bad idea as long as you can make it on fuel, which I think most of the last 4 or 5 trucks that just came to the pits will be able to. Something else you got to think about is they might be thinking they're going to get lapped by the end of this thing, so they don't. There's one extra lap that they will not have to complete, as Dakota DeMade is going to come in to the pits from 5th as well.
So Sanders, Michael, Lehman, Poliski, Ellison, Salamone, and Bartel and Rainey, who I believe is about to go a lap down but is pitting, are the drivers who have stayed out thus far. So Sanders, if he wanted to pit that time, kind of had his hands tied. I believe Bartel's on pit road right now as well. So Rainey and Bartel and DeMade on pit road. That leaves the top 5 out on track still. Justin Michael and James Lehman both bypass the entrance to pit road. Andy Poliski is working through the bus stop right now, and Paul Ellison
We're going to have a battle for position right behind your second place driver. This is Ryan Dye and Dakota DeMade. DeMade just came out of the pits, and Dye came up hot on his heels as he was coming out of turn 1. Whoa, and DeMade goes wide into the grass.
Oh, man.
Through the bus stop, I think he will likely have to give up some time at some point. You see him pull to the outside.
He does have a slowdown.
Maybe trying to block Ryan Dye when he gives up a little bit of it, possibly. Steve Roman all of a sudden has gotten into this battle as well.
Gavin Sanders is on to pit road. Troy Thomas is pitting this time as well.
Second place, Justin Michael stays out. He is going to lead that lap.
We think this is the absolute maximum that these drivers can stay out on track. Justin Michael might be able to prove us wrong, though, and go one more. But Michael does lead a lap here, as Gavin Sanders had led them all thus far. So no matter what, Gavin Sanders is going to pick up a few extra bonus points for leading the most laps here tonight. Justin Michael, of course, scored the pole, and now will get credit for a lap led at least. Gavin Sanders, clean entry, clean exit. He is off and away.
Yeah, something you got to think about here, though, as you get into a rhythm on those worn-out tires. When you come out of the pits, you see a little wiggle there coming out of the S's onto this straight. You got to remember that your tires do not have the heat in them that they did when you came into the pits, so you got to take it a little easy. Might have been what DeMade encountered when he was in the grass coming out of the bus stop.
Justin Michael goes past pit road again this time. Sorry. That was surprising.
guess he's gonna try to have as fresh of tires at the end of this thing as possible.
It does make sense. I'm just surprised. I was never able to get 30. I wonder if he's sort of holding off on a couple of shifts around the track.
Well, this will be 29 coming in.
It's not like us to be wrong about fuel strategy. It's never happened before.
Not a single time. It's mostly because I listen to you.
Yeah. Well, that was your first mistake. Justin Michael just called out over the radio. He is pitting this time. James Lehman is still out on track as well. Expect him to be coming to pit road this time. And something I have not mentioned yet, Lehman and Michael are teammates. They both just joined this week, driving for Bandit Motorsports.
Well, it's great to have him here. And yes, Lehman is going to come in as well. So they obviously knew how far they could push it.
Clean entries for both drivers. And Sanders right now just rounded turn number 7, is headed down the front straightaway, so he should be able to retake the lead here with ease. The question is the fresher tires going to work to the advantage of Justin Michael down the stretch here?
JK, I know it might be a surprise that we get things wrong, but I promise it happens more often than you think. I heard a little bit of a crash. It's Dakota DeMade in the 82.
Oh, you're kidding. Backing it up just a little bit. Coming out of the bus stop and into the carousel. A little wobble and a lockup. And a little bit of contact there with the inside wall. Not a ton of damage, but certainly a ton of time loss. I did mention a clean entry for James Lehman, but he actually did end up picking up a black flag. So that's really unfortunate for the 0-5. That's going to be majorly detrimental.
All right, so after our pit cycle, Justin Michael, your second place driver, is almost 12 and a half seconds behind Gavin Sanders. That's a lot of time to make up, as Sanders came to the pits pretty late as well. Maybe about 3 laps fresher tires for the 78.
Sanders just worked around Kyle Zittel, who's currently pacing in the 12th position. Next up to be lapped would be the 26 of Eric Breeding. He is not too far ahead of the race leader here. His lap number 31 is on the board. When he comes back around to the stripe, it'll be 20 more times around for Gavin Sanders. I mean, nobody could ever deny his talent. That's for sure. But I would not have expected this kind of performance here tonight. And maybe that's shame on me.
No, I think we're both right, but I think part of the reason is he downplayed how good he was at stock cars very heavily. Basically, he said he just wants to come in here and survive races. What he's doing is doing a heck of a lot more than just surviving, I can tell you that.
Oh, Garrett Rainey's around out of turn number 6, I believe. He has lodged that truck into the wall, and he has to tow. Man, a top 15 run for Garrett Rainey, and it is all for naught. Man, that stinks.
Yeah, especially you get to the back half of this race, and you've done so well staying out of trouble, and suddenly something like that makes you jump to the pits. That is not
Hunter
a good
Leach
feeling.
crashed. Hunter Leach crashes out of the carousel, trying to stay off to the left side and get that truck rolling again.
And he is going to pull over.
Yeah,
and
that is the meatball flag for Hunter Leach, as well as Rick Kessinger and Garrett Rainey. Rainey's contact looked pretty inconspicuous, but he hit one of the tire walls. And those tire walls, just for whatever reason, are made of Velcro and also lava.
How is there any Velcro left if the rest is lava?
It's ultra Velcro.
Is that made out of metal or something?
Gavin Sanders just lagged out of the server. You're kidding me.
No.
I think he's gone. We'll wait to see if he reappears or if he's going to get a packet loss here. That's going to be devastating. His ping right now is 716. That's
Well, I'm trying to watch him on timing and scoring. He's dropping down. He hasn't totally dropped out yet, but he is moving down the driver standings as if he's standing still and drivers are passing him now.
And it hasn't booted him out of the session yet either, so I'm... So as we wait with bated breath here, I guess your interim leader, I guess, is Justin Michael.
I think it is. Sanders is dropping like a rock right now in the standings.
I think no matter what, whether the sim thinks Sanders is here or not, Justin Michael is the race leader. And there's the upload packet loss for Gavin Sanders. Unbelievable. That is... Yeah, Justin Michael over the radio says that sucks. That is absolutely crappy. Man, I don't even know what to say. That's awful.
Yeah, and I mean, Gavin Sanders is on the sim all the time. I don't remember him having a lot of issues, but
no, nothing that we've ever done. None of the Schaefer's fill-in races or any of the Daredevil stuff that we've ever done. He's never had any connection issues that I remember. That's more of an Nate Seifker thing.
Yeah, that's a fact. When something like that happens, somebody you don't expect loses connection. Makes you worry a little bit as a race provider and controller that maybe the session itself is a little unstable.
Well, he's the only one that we've had so far, I will say.
So hopefully we don't have any issues for the rest of the night. But
and
just 17 to go.
What I will say is that Gavin is from Canada and from Ontario at that, but Johnny Nielsen has been at a steady 99 quality and 200 ping for this entire race. His ping has not jumped or lagged or anything this whole time. So, I mean, nobody's had any ping problems. Gavin wasn't having any ping problems that I had noticed up until that point. So, that's, gosh.
Well, when somebody's around up here, I don't know quite who that was. Ellison and Dye are, is that?
I missed it as well.
James Lehman. Well, Lehman now back to 6. He's behind Ryan Dye and Paul Ellison.
I don't know if it was Lehman. I think it was.
Steve Broman goes around.
The initial spin was actually Mike Todd. Who was chilling out in the 17th position.
This is going to be a good battle. Whoa! I think Lehman had to get on the brakes pretty hard there. He was hauling it into the bus stop. Had to slow down. He had Ryan Dye and Paul Ellison battling in front of him, and this one's going to get heated, I think. Lehman, who had a penalty on his pit entrance, got stuck behind some trucks that he is faster than, but having a hard time getting around anybody.
Ellison had a run there on Dye. This is the battle for 4th. It's a 3-truck battle. Lehman has the run here. Is he gonna try and look for some real estate underneath of Ellison. He is. Sends it in tastefully into turn number 1. The work is not done yet, though. Inside through the S's. Is Ellison going to yield the spot? He is. So Lehman now back up into the top 5. Work is not done. Ryan Dye next up.
Whoa, and Lehman just pushes it so much farther into the bus stop than Ryan Dye or Ellison. He basically pushed Ryan Dye through the bus stop section.
And a great exit there for Lehman. He
gets a little sideways.
Spot. Oh, man. Dye has been on the ragged edge this entire race here. But, man, look at Lehman. Scored away from these two as they go right back to battle, and now for the 5th spot. Or, rather, for the 5th spot.
And now Ellison's gotten around Dye as well. Will Salamone, with the battling, has pulled right up to the back of the number 4 as well. Ryan Dye looking to maybe lose 3 positions here.
Salamone in the first 2 races has finished 7th and 7th. He currently runs 7th. I think he wants to change that here tonight and do at least one better.
I can't say that I blame him. Although with the quality of drivers we have, 7th is not a bad finish.
It's nothing to sneeze at, and he's in the top 10 in points. So, 7th place, if you get 7th every week, I think you'll probably get pretty close to a championship, I would have to guess. As you're watching the battles unfold here in the closing stages around Watkins Glen, let's give you a full field rundown here after the unfortunate development with Gavin Sanders. He surrenders the lead to Justin Michael. Justin Michael leads over Andy Poliski right now by about 20 seconds. So Poliski running in second. Nathan Reynolds then provisionally right now on the podium in third. James Lehman has just snuck up to the 4th position. Paul Ellison in 5th. Ryan Dye, Will Salamone, Dakota Domain, Steve Roman, Eric Breeding, your top 10. Breeding is the first truck 1 lap down. Kyle Zittel, TJ Bartell, Jeff Smith, Christopher Kresge, Joe Yakes, last week's winner at Atlanta, currently running in the 15th position. I believe we have 21, make it 22 trucks running here with 13 laps to go. The driver that entered the race as the points leader is Steve Roman. He is currently the last truck on the lead lap in 9th, as I believe we just had some sort of a kerfuffle. Christopher Kresge just went around out of the bus stop. And another truck ahead of him, I believe it was Jeff Smith, went around on his own in the carousel. So 2 simultaneous unrelated spins.
And Salamone almost spun it out of the carousel right there as I was watching Christopher Kresge as well. He had pulled right up to the back of Ryan Dye, and he now has a little bit of a gap. Also to be mentioned, I think Dakota DeMate is closing in on the 4 and the 99 as well.
He is not too far behind, about 1.5 seconds, maybe 2 seconds behind this battle for the 6th position. And indeed closing.
And we know Dakota's not going to take it easy. If he has an opportunity, he is going to try to take it. He has a little ways to go before he's going to be able to have that opportunity, though.
Fastest truck on track right now is James Lehman. Unfortunately, he's got 30 seconds to try and make up before he can catch Nathan Reynolds. And Reynolds kind of had a rough start, keeping the tires under him, but has recovered very nicely and is looking to score a podium here on his first start. But Justin Michael is looking to win on his first start.
And I tell you what, somebody who has been awfully quiet, we really haven't talked about much at all other than coming in for an earlier pit stop than some, is Andy Poliski in second.
He always seems to do that in Venom Truck Series. When he's having great nights, we hardly mention him more than a couple of times, and then we get to talk to him on the podium.
So he's put together a great run. He's got Nathan Reynolds not super far behind him, about 3.5 seconds, but the gap to first place is 20.
I think the most noise that Andy Poliski has made on Turn 200 was last week here on Truck 200 at Atlanta. I think you can make the argument that if the restart zone wasn't the way that it was, that he very much could have been in contention to win that race. He had the fresher rubber there at the end.
And Dakota DeMade has pulled up to the side of Will Salamone. He's going to go by him on the inside of the carousel.
Salamone likes to lunge into this corner here. We'll see if he does it. Nope, not this time.
This carry a lot of speed around there, though. DeMade is going to set his sights on 6th place now. That's Ryan Dye. Still quite a bit of time left. Over 10 laps to go here.
Actually coming to 10 right now. Justin Michael crosses the line 10 more times around. 24 more miles. It's only been 55 minutes since we dropped the green flag. We got probably about another 11 minutes before we drop the checkers here. And it's, I will say it's not been as hectic of a race as I thought it was going to be. And that's a testament to these drivers. They have done, even the drivers who are not particularly comfortable with this setup here tonight have done a fantastic job of managing their stuff and at least staying out of the way, worst case scenario.
Yeah, I was gonna say the same thing, that even we've had a lot of incidents, but nobody has made more of them than needs to be. Everybody's pretty much stayed pretty clear out of the way. Let the leaders do their thing. So huge shout out to all of the drivers that came out tonight. A massive field for what we thought was going to be our smallest yet of the season, and delivering.
Absolutely. Starting 30 trucks here tonight. It's the largest field that we've ever had here in Truck 200. And hopefully these drivers are having fun. We've had quite a few close battles throughout the field here. But not really any looks up front. We've had a couple of dominant performances from Gavin Sanders before he had server issues. And now Justin Michaels. Another equally dominant performance over the rest of the field here in the closing stages.
Well, we're going on board with the 82 of Dakota DeMade. This is pretty much your closest battle you're going to see on the track. This is for 6th place. DeMade seems to be really good out of 7. Hopefully gets a big run here down into turn 1.
Eight to go up front. The gap is not shrinking. Tell you what, the gap is shrinking a little bit between Poliski and Reynolds for second. We may have a battle here in the closing stages. Right now, it's about 2.5 seconds between Poliski and Reynolds for second. But that has come down considerably here in the last few laps. Oh, just as I say that, Nathan Reynolds about looped it into turn number 1. He had that thing yawed out.
DeMade seems to struggle just a little bit through the carousel and maybe the bus stop as well. He was right on the back of Ryan Dye. He's now let Jeff Smith get in between them. Nathan Reynolds has been a little bit up and down tonight. He started third. I think he was all the way down to maybe 7th or 8th at one point, and now back up to 3rd again. So he's had a long road to try to get to where he is, but he's chipped away at it and finds himself in a podium position.
John Kay says, who's ready to see the 27 truck on track? I'm going to vote yes. I think Matt's probably also going to vote yes.
I would vote yes, but I'm going to be sad when I can't make homeless jokes anymore.
Oh, boy. Yeah, okay. I don't know how I feel about that whole thing. At least John's here. I guess if John wasn't here and you were saying it, that would be one thing. Look ahead of Justin Michael. There's going to be a huge gaggle of trucks up here, and it's battling for position as well. It's Salamone, DeMade, Ryan Dye, Jeff Smith, and Johnny Nielsen yielding to the leaders as well. But that is the next group of trucks that the leader is going to catch here, if he's going to catch them with 6 laps to go. I'm going to say that he is going to catch them. Michael's last lap was a 1:14.032, which to be clocking 1:14.0s at this point on the run is incredible. But the last lap for Salamone was a 1:16.0, so 2 seconds a lap faster right now, Michael is, than Salamone.
Salamone's going to make a move on DeMade here, possibly. DeMade struggled through the carousel there. Salamone not able to take advantage there, but he is right on the heels of the 82. I think the 82 might have used up his stuff trying to get around Salamone the first time and then get to the number 4.
DeMade definitely on defense there through 6 and 7. You're right. I think struggling just a little bit here. 6 to go for them. 5 to go for Justin Michael, who is not too far behind. He just ran a 1:13.7. Are you kidding me?
Yeah, that's an insane lap when you are on 20-lap-old tires here around the Glen. I never ran a 1:13 on fresh tires.
Yeah, I think my best lap that I turned in my hundreds of laps of practice in this past week was maybe a 1:14.5. I'm not sure that would have gotten me in the top 10 in practice or qualifying here tonight. It's a testament to these drivers. Despite some of the concerns and the complaints raised, and rightfully so, about this setup, these drivers have delivered here tonight with some great racing and some blistering times around the Glen.
And I keep going back to this group, but it is by far the closest battle we have.
Actually, we, I believe, are about to have a... Well, we were about to have a battle for second, but Nathan Reynolds has fallen off of Poliski by quite a bit. They were within about 1.25 seconds of one another, and now... well, I guess it's still about 1.25 seconds. It doesn't look it, though. Reynolds is advancing on Poliski here with 4 laps to go, slowly but surely.
Yeah, it's been slow progress. He's gained about 1 second over probably the last 6 laps or so.
Oh, somebody's around right in front of the leader. It's Ryan Dye. I'm not too sure Ryan Dye didn't clobber the inside wall there out of the bus stop. It sure looked it. He did. Oh, man, that was some pretty hard contact, too. Holy cow.
And Salamone got past Dakota DeMade on that exchange as well. I want to try to take a look and see what happened there.
I think what you're going to see is Dye catches a little bit too much of the curb there. The left side exit curb of the bus stop.
He does. He spins out, hits that inside wall hard, and then Salamone somehow gets through on DeMade. DeMade goes wide through the carousel, and Salamone's able to take advantage as well.
I'm sure part of it is making an evasive maneuver for DeMade. Salamone with probably a little bit more time to react to both Ryan Dye spinning and Dakota DeMade moving out wide, and he's able to take advantage of the whole situation and get 2 spots out of the whole thing. He moves from 8th to 6th in the exchange. And Dakota DeMade gonna hold tight in 7th.
Gonna hold tight in 7th, and he's gonna end up getting lapped here by the 78-year leader, Justin Michael. Not very far behind the 82 and the 99 at all.
It'll be 2 laps to go for Justin Michael when he comes back around this time. And look for Poliski and Reynolds. They're within 3 truck lengths of one another as they work through the carousel. Poliski goes out wide. He's leaving room for Reynolds here as they're about to work down the short straight.
And Reynolds guns it. He's looking for a big run coming into turn 6.
You keep an eye on the battle for a second. I'll make sure Justin Michael is not going to get caught up in anything here from the lead.
It's a lot of give and take. The 51 gets a good run out of turn 7. He pulls right up to the back of the 32. He's not going to try to make a move this time. Seems like Poliski's was so much better through the S's than Nathan Reynolds. And Reynolds is able to tighten it back up through the bus stop and the carousel.
The S's are the toughest part there on this.
Wow, Poliski really
tires.
slammed it into the bus stop there. Looks like he had all 4 tires off the ground at one point.
Down the front stretch, white flag is out for Justin Michael. But the battle rages on for second.
Whoa! Reynolds really dives it in there.
This will be the best passing opportunity Reynolds is going to have. Into turn number 1.
And he slows down. He's trying to force Poliski into a mistake. Poliski stays strong. And if Reynolds wants that second spot, he is going to have to make up some time here. He does have a good run through the S's, looking to keep the momentum down this long stretch into the bus stop.
Up front, headed towards turn number 6, the left-hander, Justin Michael. From the pole, didn't get to lead right away, but inherits the lead from Gavin Sanders and finishes it out strong. What a debut for Justin Michael. He is going to win the Glen 200K at the Glen. 1 for 1 for Justin Michael. And the battle for second, Poliski. Up over the curbs there in turn number 6 for the right-hander. Poliski is going to hang on as Reynolds slips and slides behind him. Poliski in second, Reynolds in third. DeMade and Salamone stayed on the lead lap. They were trading paint there in front of the leader. DeMade actually let Salamone go after feeding him a slider through the carousel coming to the white flag.
And what a debut for Justin Michael. Although you have to think about, if it wasn't for server issues, you would think that Gavin Sanders would be the one taking the top spot tonight. But nonetheless, it doesn't matter. The 78 is going to get to do the burnouts here at the Glen.
And the server issues aside, Justin Michael ran an equally impressive race. To be able to clock laps that fast is just incredible.
Yeah, I mean, they're at the end running 113s on 20-lap-old tires. I mean, that is just insane. And he is burning the house down.
Why not?
Alrighty, partner. What do you say we go ahead and get to our race results?
Absolutely. We will hear from our podium finishers here tonight. Justin Michael, in his first start, grabs his first win. We have 3 different winners in our 3 different races, 3 different pole sitters as well. And for the first time ever, we have a Toyota. We've had 2 Chevys up to this point. So first win for Toyota in Truck 200 belongs to Justin Michael. We'll hear from Justin as well as Andy Poliski and Nathan Reynolds. It is a 4th place finish, and what a drive back through the field after the pit road penalty for James Lehman. And Paul Ellison, for the 3rd race in a row, is going to be your 5th place finisher. I cannot believe it. What a job by Paul Ellison all season. P5 again for the 55. Will Salamone, for the first time this season, is not in 7th. He is in 6th. So another great run for Will Salamone. Dakota DeMade, an awesome drive for him here tonight. He will finish in P7, the last truck on the lead lap. Ryan Dieden will be the first truck a lap down rather in 8th. Steve Roman came into tonight as the points leader. I'm not sure if he's going to hold on to it or not. It should be close though. He finishes in 9th here tonight. Eric Breeding, first time back since the inaugural 200. He will round out the top 10 here tonight. So he's 2 for 2 in top 10s in his Truck 200 starts. TJ Bartell just outside of the top 10 tonight here in 11th. The driver that he finished runner-up to in Atlanta last week finishes behind him this week in 12th. That is Joe Yakes. Kyle Zittel, P13 finish for him here tonight. Jeff Smith, 2 laps down in 14th. Christopher Kresge making his debut here tonight. He will finish in 15th. Dave Stinson will finish in P16. Mike Todd, another debuter here tonight, will finish in 17th. Jacob Houston, the first and only truck, 3 laps down in 18th. Troy Thomas, 4 laps down in 19th. Johnny Nielsen, another debuter here tonight, finishes in 20th. Len McNeese hangs on for a 21st place finish. Richard Hayes, I believe, came back into the session or came back onto the track very late. So he, I believe, is running there 14 laps down. Another debuter here tonight. He will be the last truck running in 22nd. DNFs from here on out, Brad Saxton in 23rd. Gavin Sanders is going to pick up a whole boatload of bonus points, but it's not going to mean all that much to him because he is going to come away with a 24th rather than a first-place finish. That's is too bad. Garrett Rainey, another strong run, cut short by an innocent little spin out of turn number 6. He finishes 25th. Hunter Leach in 26th. Richard Kessinger 27th. Jeremy McKinnon 28th. Adam Cantwell in 29th. Roland Holt, his debut here tonight did not go to plan. He rounds out the field in P30 here tonight. All righty. It's time. It's podium time. And a great battle there at the end of the race. And we see this man, I guess technically gets back-to-back interviews just over a 6-day stretch. It is the Intimidator, Nathan Reynolds. Gets P3 here tonight. Congrats on a hard-fought podium. You told me you liked a loose setup. Do you still like a loose setup?
Oh yeah, that was a lot of fun. It was a good challenge. And I can't imagine if there wasn't cloud cover how that might have went.
Yeah, definitely some setup weather changes. I think saved more people than needed help already. Um, what's it? What's the mindset knowing that you're on really, really old rubber on a really loose setup, and you have work to do with Andy Poliski in front of you there with 2 laps to go?
I couldn't think about how the tires were. Just had to drive what you had and push it to the max. And we were slipping and sliding there. And I just kept digging. Made one little mistake there, and Andy was a lot better than me getting out of turn 1 and up to the S's. And that was a place where I kind of needed to keep pace with him to kind of set him up and be on his tail going into the carousel if I wanted a chance at him. And with about 2 to go there, I kind of slipped up and let him get a little gap on me. So it took the remainder of that time to just get back to his bumper. We were lucky to even get there to him. Andy's a really good road racer, and to finish on his tail and give him a challenge is a win in itself.
Matt, what do you got?
Well, Nathan, you started up towards the front. You fell back a little bit there early on in the first run. What did you have to do to kind of work your way back to that spot where you had a chance to get that second place finish?
The little 3-year-old left the bedroom. He ripped the wheel out of my hand coming out of 1, and I looped it. So I had a lot of ground to make up. But once Supermom came in here and grabbed him, we were able to focus and kind of make some spots back up there and finished about where I expected that I should. So it was all in all, it was a really good result. A lot of fun.
Well, I know, I guess one thanks that's in order there, but shout outs for you here tonight.
As always, thank my beautiful wife Farah for all she does for us and allowing me to be able to come in here and waste time like I do. And big thanks to NASCAR Report RJ over on Instagram and all he's done in my early days at Car Inside on YouTube for promoting me. And RJ has a great Instagram channel over there. Everybody be sure to go check him out for all the latest and greatest NASCAR news. And of course, thank you guys. Appreciate all you guys do. And these interviews and broadcasting these races, always enjoy going back and watching.
Absolutely, partner. We're happy to get you out here on a Monday for a change. We hope to get you out here for a few more down the stretch. But congrats on the debut P3 here tonight, and we'll talk to you tomorrow.
Sounds good, man. I appreciate it.
All righty. We'll keep them rolling here with the P2 and a hard-fought one once again for Andy Poliski. Congrats on the silver medal here tonight. What'd you think about the setup here?
It was a handful, but it was fun. It was a fun handful. So it really made you drive the truck, and also kind of take care of everything. You couldn't just go dive bombing into the corners and have it stick. So you really had to finesse some of the corners and really drive the others.
I'll ask the same question I asked to Nathan, but sort of flip it to your perspective. You see Nathan probably over the last 10 laps inching his way closer and closer to you. What's are you worried about Nathan? Or are you just trying to bring it home?
A little bit of both. I was trying to manage the gap a little bit. I didn't do a very good job of it because every time I seemed to look down, I would miss a corner up a little bit and lose more time. So I was trying to manage the gap, and then ultimately, like 4 or 5 laps to go, 5 or 6 laps to go, I just decided I'm gonna just hit my marks, what I was doing at the start of the race, and whatever was gonna happen was gonna happen. I knew we were gonna be, if he got to me, we would race hard, but we'd race pretty clean. So it's always a lot of fun racing with him.
Matt, what do you got?
Well, we've talked about the setup a lot here tonight. I'm curious how different it felt towards the end of those runs than it did at the beginning. I know in the beginning it's really loose. Does it tighten up at any point during the run, or does it just kind of stay that way?
No, it seemed to gain grip as you ran, and then probably did lose a little bit of front grip. Probably the 3/4 mark of the run. You'd start to really have to back up your corners, otherwise you would you'd miss your mark and cost yourself some time. But the middle of the run, it seemed like it was really nice, really stable. You could really attack the corners if you wanted to.
All righty. Shout outs for you here tonight.
Shout out to my team, Broke Guy Racing. Teammates always do a lot to help me out with information. My sponsors, Nissan Wichita Falls, they do a great job with us. If you ever need a car or you need service and you're in and around Wichita Falls, definitely come and see us.
Well, there you go. You put on the show late there in Atlanta last week, and I would say probably had the car to win if it weren't for the restart zone incident there. But you get the podium here this week and carrying some momentum into Martinsville tomorrow night. So how are you feeling about that one?
I am feeling pretty good. Martinsville, I was last season when we ran it, I was really good in practice and kind of messed my qualifying up and got myself in a bad position. I feel I can manage the traffic really well. So as long as I don't mess up the qualifying and start, in a decent position, I have a feeling we're going to be fighting for definitely top 3, if not a win.
Well, there you go, partner. We're looking forward to it. But congrats on the P2 here tonight.
Thank you, Tommy.
All righty, Booth 200 debut here tonight for your race winner. It's finally time to get him up here, and it is Justin Michael. Man, P1 off the grid, P1 at the end of the night. Welcome to the booth. Welcome to the league. How are you doing?
Did it, guys? That was a fun race, and I don't know, man. If that other guy didn't get disconnected, I think I'd be running second right now. It's unfortunate for him, though. That's for sure. He was moving. After 5 laps, I just couldn't keep up with him anymore.
Well, tell me about your race, though. How was the setup for? How are you managing it?
It was definitely loose. I mean, we were staying in third gear through most of the turns except turn 1. We were in second, and that really, really helped a lot. I think it helped with the tire wear too. We were just trying to keep it all on track and turn some really good laps, staying in second there for the longest time. And I did some pit strategy. I took less fuel, stayed out longer, took less fuel, and I think that really tightened the car up a little bit. Or sorry, the truck. I tightened it up a little bit, and I think that really, really helped that second half of the run because I felt like I was faster.
Matt, what do you got for a race winner here?
Justin, congratulations. First race with Turn 200 and Truck 200 come away with the win. This is more just want to get to know you a little bit. I talked to you very briefly through Facebook Messenger. What made you want to come on here to Truck 200? And do you come from a different league, or is this your first league, many leagues? Tell us a little bit about yourself.
Oh, it's many leagues. I've been doing this since 1995. So I'm old. Yeah, I was like 15 when I started. But I just looking around for a Monday league to run in, and your guys has popped up on Facebook first, and I was checking it out, and I really liked what I saw, so figured I'd give it a shot. You guys get good car counts, especially at a road course, and you're pulling 30 trucks. That's amazing.
Well, I'll tell you this: I wasn't expecting it either. So I'm right there in the same boat with you. Couldn't believe when we got 30 trucks to show up here tonight. But 30 trucks to show up, and you're the cream of the crop here tonight, brother. So a big congratulations to you. Who do you want to give thanks and shout-outs to here tonight?
That's everybody out there watching. Hopefully it was a good show for them. I'm not a road course guy, so I'm more of an oval guy. So I think next week we'll see where we really stand with some of the people in here. We got some high rating guys in here, so it'll be fun. But yeah, just you guys call a great race, and I watched some of your previous broadcasts before tonight, and just appreciate you guys putting in the league.
Well, I'm excited to go back and watch your Twitch VOD on Floorboard Deep, and hopefully you'll give me a little bit of insight on how to run Watkins Glen, and maybe I can pick up a couple of tenths here and there.
Hey, go back and watch it. It's all about the footwork coming off the turns, let me tell you, because that thing's loose.
Oh yeah, it's loose. But Justin Michael, man, congrats on the debut win here tonight, and you get the first ever Toyota win for Truck 200 as well. So lots to hang your hat on here tonight. So congrats, and go party hard.
Awesome, guys. Thank you.
All righty, partner. It's about time for it to be the all done and over at the Glen. What are some of your big takeaways here tonight?
Man, huge takeaway from the support that we have for Truck 200. 30 trucks taking the grid here tonight. Cannot believe it. Man, shout out to the drivers. I know some of you struggled. It was a tough setup, but thank you guys so much for coming out. Hope that you guys had a little bit of fun with that. I know it was a challenge, but we enjoyed it here in the broadcast booth, and I know everybody watching enjoyed it as well. And shout out to some of our chatters here tonight. Stephen C. was looking for Michael Fish. Unfortunately, he was not with us here tonight. And, of course, JK Gaming got to enjoy another one with us here tonight. He was in the chat all night long.
Yeah, hopefully, I mean this in the best way possible. Hopefully JK Gaming doesn't get to enjoy races in the chat for too much longer. Hopefully he gets to enjoy races on the track. That's where he should be. But we enjoy having him in the chat, though. He keeps it lively, that's for sure. And I want to give a shout out to, I think, my driver of the race, and I will use a quote and an expletive in the chat. Jacob Houston says, it's a shame Gavin Sanders got disconnected because you were waxing everyone's ass. And that is absolutely true. I mean, don't get me wrong. Justin Michael ran a great race tonight. He was cutting a little bit into the lead of Gavin Sanders, but Gavin Sanders was over 20 seconds ahead when he was getting disconnected. So this was Gavin Sanders' race, absolutely bar none. So really is a shame that Gavin Sanders didn't get to come away with the win here tonight. But that's sim racing. That'll happen. And I'm sure Justin Michael really isn't complaining at the end of the night. I can tell you that much. Well, partner, anything else that you want to add here before we close up shop for the night?
Well, I just want to remind everybody to come on out for the Venom Truck Series tomorrow night. We have one at Martinsville, and if the All-Star Race was anything to go off of for short tracks, it's going to be a good one.
Andy Poliski, trying to hold on to his points lead, says that he thinks he's got a pretty good shot to finally come away with a win on the season. It's Martinsville. It's going to be crazy. That's going to be a great one to watch. You're not going to want to miss it. I think the race I'm most looking forward to on the Truck 200 schedule is next week. It's Dover. The Monster Mile is next up on round number 4 for Truck 200. That is going to be an awesome race. I cannot wait to get that one underway. But before we can get there, we have to get through Martinsville tomorrow night. And before we can get to Martinsville tomorrow night, we got to wrap this broadcast up. So, for everybody with Turn 200 and for the greatest stream producer of all time, that is Mr. Martini Matt Williamson. I've been Tommy Cook. Until we meet again here on Turn 200, we say so long from virtual Watkins Glen International, where Justin Michael wins in his first ever race in Truck 200. Have a good night, everybody. Thanks for coming out to hang out with us.